thank God, AY has enough success. He will bounce back. He will bounce back. So
he also had a lot of rich friends.
Exactly.
Who come together.
Hopefully, because I feel like sometimes rich people are tricky, guy. Sometimes.
What's up, people?
Yo.
It's the James and Oris show. My name is James, as usual, and this is Oris.
That's my
and
name.
we're back for another interesting week of rundown through the local and international entertainment stories. Basically, what we do here is analyze the stories, give your our 2 cents.
Our 2 kobos.
Of our thoughts and opinions on various stories around the entertainment industry. The first story on our table today is the AY story, and comedian AY's house was caught fire. Was
engulfed
by fire, and I don't even know how to explain how I feel about or how I felt about this particular story when it broke. And I don't think AY wasn't in town at all. AY is supposed to be in the United States or Canada. I think it was Canada first, and then he was on tour. They had different this and then I think he stopped. Maybe the news broke when
I didn't even know that he was not
out of
in
town
at the time. Yes, I didn't know that.
So it was just, I saw a lot of the videos, and I don't even know different videos. One of the videos I really I don't want to just say pissed me off, but I thought that one really was somehow. The one that had drone shots. I don't know why was the drone. This fire was, the incident was ongoing, and then somebody had to. So I don't know if it was the fire service people that did that recording.
Nigeria get drone,
bro.
Unless there's a private one, no.
I really don't know, but there was just a drone recording of the whole thing while it was happening. I'm not saying that people cannot or I'm not basically criticizing that you have to pull out your drone to record the situation, but you know what? We are just still also in the age where people, when things are happening, people just pull out their phones and are recording. Sometimes you wonder, okay, why are you recording? I'm recording to just have a report of this thing, or record because later it just ends on social media just to show people and nothing else, but it's just a sad situation that somebody who has spent so much, who has a lot going on for himself, and his family, who has actually sacrificed and done so well for himself, and then imagine how much would have been. I saw the video of the aftermath of the fire, and bro,
it was like, man,
bro, it was total destruction.
I don't know. Felt like, man, nothing,
bro.
To be salvaged could be salvaged, but hopefully there's a few things to be salvaged though. But yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. We don't know how. I'm not like it's not like our business, to be honest, but we don't know how he started. Electrical fire, an actual fire. I'm not even sure what.
There's no report yet about what caused the fire.
Well, as I'm saying, yes, it's not like it's our business. So, so we don't have that information. But what we do know is, okay, that's a significant amount of loss that the house and the individuals who live in it have suffered. I hope, it's AY, so obviously, hopefully, there is money. No matter how much, of course, it's still bad that you're losing whatever, but there are people who something like this happens to their house, and this is going to be incredibly difficult to start up again. So it's one of the good things about, I guess, success of the sort that AY has, I believe, is that okay, you can bounce back. You can lose, but you can bounce back, But every day there's probably stuff like that happening to people who really can't bounce back, and it's just like immediately starting from ground zero all over again. So which makes it unfortunate. My sympathies with the Macrons, him and his wife. But it looks like online the business continues. He's been posting. He did the post, of course, to appreciate people, all the reactions that's been coming in. They've been seeing it clearly. And I think when it comes to this kind of incidents, one of the things that you have to be thankful for is that no life was lost. They were not at home when this thing happened. Do you understand? And then sometimes it might have been worse to actually physically witness it. You just see yourself helpless. You cannot go into the building to save a situation or do much than to just look and watch this thing happen. It doesn't make it any less when you are away, really, but I'm just saying that it probably would have felt worse. It's a level of powerlessness when you see.
But
that's the nature of all of this, in quotes, acts of God, where it's like it's happening right before you, but what really are your options? But once again, thank God, AY has enough success. He will bounce
He'll
back.
bounce
you know,
back.
He will bounce back. So
He also had a
that's
lot
whatever,
of
so.
rich friends
Exactly.
who come together.
Hopefully, no, I mean, hopefully, because I feel like sometimes rich people are tricky, or guy. Sometimes rich people might not be the.
When it happens, I mean, you see that.
Yeah.
That's where you now know true test of friendship.
Exactly.
So who
Whether
come through for
who
you?
will agree, exactly, one even. Oh yeah, guy, take this small 1M. You get those things are tricky. I remember. Sorry, I mean this is probably a deviation, but I recall that a few years ago, a friend of mine was living the country, and let's just say that he had gotten money from somewhere else, from his wife's family and everything. You know? So he needed some money of his own to like add up to like you know be able to like take the plunge and move with his family. So he was asking around for money, and you know we've been tight since we were in university. This like more than 10 years friendship and everything. The group that we belong to since we've been in school, 5 or 6 of us. Anyway, let's just say long and short, he did not get what he was expecting to get. You know, I did what I could, you know, but a lot of my guys who I felt like were in decent places financially,
back,
they leaned back or well, I mean, they slipped. You all lie down, you know. So yeah, so hopefully AY has like friends who can say, you know what, this thing, you know, the way I measure generosity these days, and I don't even mean to friends, I mean like just generally, you know. Sometimes walking on the road randomly and some guy accosts you. For a long time, it used to be that I might want to give, but the way it just happens suddenly, my impulse is to flee. Not run, no, but just like say no, you know, just that impulsive thing where you are like, why are you stressing me, that kind of a thing, you know. But then nowadays I'm rethinking it. One is to like cool down on the need to like want to depart from such a person, because of course sometimes they are not as well judged, they're not the cleanest people, you know, those kind of things, which is probably just condition, you know. It's not like they don't want to be, but it's not condition, you know. But now I think about it in this way: if the money I am giving out means more to you than the loss means to me, I really should give you that money. That's how I think about generosity nowadays. Like, you know what? Because I know a friend of mine who, for her to give a beggar like 200 naira, 100 naira, she will not even agree. She'll be fighting the impulse to do it, you know. So, but me, I should say, you know, I've been thinking that, you know, even if I was to give a person, if I was to give 5 people 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira each, by the way, in a 2-week or a 3-week period, or even in a month, or maybe even in a day or something, you know. Truth of the matter is, thinking about it concretely, losing that 5k or giving it out will not mean as much to me as those people receiving 1,000 naira. Yeah, you get. So that's how I think about it. So let's just hope that AY has like nice friends. But yeah, my sympathies to him and his family.
I know he has that. I can start counting. I can start calling.
You know that they have money, but do they have niceness and wealth are not the same thing, my guy.
Must come through. So, but and then sometimes that's the situation of looking out for your friends. For your expecting your friends to look out for you. Yeah. Will also count. May also be dependent on how well you two have looked out for your friends.
Yeah, but what if this is the first time? Because you know we also have friends who are like everybody is fine, so it's not like anybody needs any.
And also, then sometimes it's not even about how your friends have looked out for you. Sometimes it's about what you've done for other people that they've seen or heard.
You think that matters?
I think it matters. If your friends know that you have supported certain people or certain or powered certain projects that has to do with charity, they know that this our friend is, you know, a benevolent person. They would sometimes look at it, not directly favoring them, but see that you're doing it for people, may look at it and say, oh no, come on, this guy is a good guy, he's a nice guy, let's gather around and see how we can support him. So I feel like if they know that you are nice to other people, then just that, you know, that gesture can also make your people gather around you. Yeah.
So sorry, we are talking with this entertainment show, but this is an important thing I think we're talking about. How about the bit of, okay, so AY, let's say, rough, I don't know if there are any figures, but let's say AY loses 20 million naira worth of stuff, minus the invaluables, of course, certificates and stuff like that, but let's say things that he can replace or whatever it is, 20 million naira, and he's expecting that, okay, I have, of course, AY has very super rich friends, you know.
Yeah.
Let's say he's expecting that, okay, all together, they might be able to come through for him and give him, say, 7 million out of the 20 million. Maybe my guy is one guy, they can run around and give me 7 million. And somehow, when he starts to ask, or when they start to drop, the money comes to 900k. I feel like
he might feel somehow about it.
I will feel somehow about it.
So
my point is, how do you address such a thing as that, where you feel like, okay, you guys are aware that this is the amount of money that
I need,
I need, you get, I'm thinking you guys can less than 50%, 30%, 20% of it. Maybe you guys, among the 10 of you guys, can kind of help me out with this 7 amount of the 20. And somehow he doesn't even get anywhere. It's like 2% of the 2% of the 15% you're looking for.
I just feel like last you understand that the country right now is not like that anymore. And then so it depends on the kind of, I mean, let's just even leave this.
I go vex, like I don't like my guy. I go
but
vex.
vex for who now?
For them now.
You not change your friends, Abby. Say, okay, I'll change your friends. But it will just to also teach you a big lesson.
But what lesson is that?
But I think it's a big lesson that you cannot put your trust in man. Put your trust in God. It's only God that can save you. I mean, God forbid, but let's not find ourselves in situations that we cannot.
But I'm saying this anyway intentionally, because, like I said, that whole thing I said earlier about my friend looking for a little bit of money, and I think he was looking for 5 million or 3 million or something. You get, and none of my guys offering him 50k, and he was telling me to tell me that, hey, see, waiting,
this guy,
they give what he was saying that he can give me, and he was trying to move abroad. This guy we're talking about was abroad.
Okay.
You get? So income, I mean, his wife is working, he too is working abroad, and it's not like my guys are not doing many other jobs. They are all working as pharmacy, because that's what I studied, you know. Anyway, so I was just like, even me when me they asked for the money, I was feeling like, man, which kind of thing?
You'd have done better, Abby.
I did.
You thought that the guy could have done better.
Not I thought he could have done better. Although, to be honest, when we were in school, we already knew that this guy is a very shifty kind of character, you know. But still, when it feels like push comes to shove, man, 50k out of person they find 2M, I'll be 3M or something, whatever amount I was looking for that time, 50k. Anyway, so I hope you have better friends than I do. That's all I can say.
Well, moving on. I mean, you can only imagine the shock that hits me when I heard or read the story that Rema's
Rema Roses.
What did you say?
Rema Roses.
The album Rema Roses has knocked out King Sunny Ade's
as the longest running
Nigerian album on the Billboard album charts. First of all, I didn't even know that King Sunny Ade's album was on the chart.
Was even ever there.
Not to talk of being on the chart for
40 years ago, at the time. 29 weeks.
29 weeks, exactly. And then Rema has clocked 30 weeks on that chart at the moment, and probably still counting.
Definitely
and that's
counting.
Basically knocking out that record for, I mean, in this day and age.
Sunny Ade is number 2.
So I think it's a big deal as far as I'm concerned. First of all, so I was saying that I didn't even think that Rema, I mean, if I was even in my wildest imagination, I would have thought 2 things.
Somebody, like, you didn't know Sunny Ade was there. Why is it Rema that is doing it?
I thought it would have been a Burna Boy or a Wizkid, you know, or a David.
I don't think David, you know, because I feel like people seem to forget. I don't think that David has been super successful outside of Nigeria. He has no outside of Africa. There was a time when he was the king of Africa, and probably maybe I don't know if he still is, you know. But outside in the West, I think of the big 3, he's doing the least in terms of like numbers and in terms of like fame and popularity or like big songs. I don't think Davido has like a single song that is either as big as On The Low or Ye from Burna or Last or as big as Essence from Wizkid. So in terms of like songs and like total impression in the mind of the foreigner, the American or the British person, I think that not the Nigerian British person, but the actual people when they from that place, yes, I feel like Davido might be like the number 3. He must be the bottom of those three guys. So there's no way I would have assumed that. I would not think that was those two albums. I don't think they're really good anyway. Not timeless, which is okay, but a better time and a good time.
Okay.
Decent albums, but not great. I wouldn't think that they would show up on this chart.
That chart.
Yeah, exactly. But Burna Boy is the one I really felt like he would have been the person if anybody was thinking that somebody in the 80s had this record. Which of the new cats do you think will be best placed to move that record that this person has? I don't think anybody. Few people would have thought about Rema. Few people because of the Selena Gomez's success, but it would have really been hard for any top 5 people or top 3 people to be like Rema. Be like, okay, Rema, okay. But yes, apparently he's my guy. By the way, he's from Edo State, like I am. So we got that.
Don't hurt yourself. So I mean, that's the situation, and I think it's still a win for Nigerian music.
No, of course it's a chunky win actually.
Yeah, for Nigerian music and generally, I mean, like we always say, Afrobeats. Sometimes I just say that thing with tongue in cheek, like Afrobeats, like Afrobeats to the world. But I mean, it's what it is. Shout out to Rema, big deal. I swear down, it's a big deal, and I mean, we can only hope that the number or the reign we keep will be there for even longer. Yeah,
but do you think these guys would have minors? Because I think a lot of what is probably happening is this whole idea of inclusion, diversity, and everything. It's really pushing, and of course, the internet. Do you think that the music they are making, if it was made in an earlier time, you would have gotten this far in the
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've had a lot of great records. I mean, let's quickly just touch maybe the two Babas, African Queen, for instance. It did very well at the time. It crossed a lot of boundaries. However, if you had done that song now, it probably would have been way bigger than what it did at the time. So I don't think it's just about the song now. It's also about the movement, or that whole attention that Afrobeat in quotes is drawing or is attracting at the moment. And we all know how, in bits and pieces of how we got to where we are right now. So if it wasn't right now, because don't forget the impact of social media and the streaming platforms as well on our music. If we didn't have a lot of that back in the day, so I don't know how could this have even crossed, because then we were running an industry where people at the Alaba part of town was controlling distribution and sales. So, but right now, anybody Portable can release a new record right now and post out there, and it will go everywhere. So anybody it's more or less almost an even playing ground, where the same way they said that Gomez will release a song and throw out on out there online, is the same way that Rema too can do the same thing. And then the industry has come to a point where these people can also connect themselves even online there and make magic happen. So the game has changed.
It has changed. James,
yeah.
To complicate this thing you just said, let me ask something else. So you just mentioned, and I haven't thought about it here, but that's a good point. At the time, towards the end of that era of physical CDs and everything, it was almost entirely in the hands of Alaba, because I remember that MI had that thing which was bragging about. They took the record, takes it to the pirates or to the guys in Alaba, the marketers, and says, you know what, give me 20 million naira or something up front. I think that was the figure. I don't know. That's the figure they said that time. I don't know if it's true. Give me so amount of money. Then, of course, it's yours. Anything you want to do with it, feel free to do. And so that whole thing, I think, was mostly part of the pressure was because of the idea of piracy, and that if you could work with them in a way that you handed them the whatever, you have got your money ahead, and that's fine.
They can do the rest.
So, but of course, a lot of that whole monopoly, because it was kind of a monopoly at some point, a lot of that monopoly has been broken by the internet. However, this break that we're speaking about the internet has not been broken by other Nigerians. You get? It's been broken by the same, in quote, idea of business. The same way Alaba was a business, and they were the ones who were in control of it. But that money was, in quote, local money, the art was Nigerian. The business around it too was Nigerian. Now, I think around over the past few years, since streaming became the primary mode for distribution of music, African music, that business is American, it's British, it's European. The art, mostly, or at least partly, is still Nigerian. Do you think we should be worried that we are making a lot of music, but a lot of the financial, economic value, unlike back in the day, even if it was via pirates or via marketers who were unfair, were still locally, was still local. Now we've handed out. So last or Timeless by Davido might produce 100 million naira. Rough figure, because I'm sure it's more than that. 100 million naira. Davido will be rich because he will get 30 million naira out of that still.
Yeah.
The remaining 70 million naira out of it is going, or maybe let's say 60 million naira out of it is going straight to Sony Music, who are the people who now own him, or at least his music partly. The remaining 10 million might go to the team or producers or whatever it is at all. That's kind of almost like this split. So a lot of the value that we are producing, music that we are producing now, is going abroad. Back in the day, these pirates were doing their nonsense, or the marketers were being unfair to the artists. But at the same time, that money was being, the business was also here. Should we be worried?
Good question and observation. It also begs a follow-up question saying that if the guys or the international distributors remove their hands from our business, where or what are we going to fall back to? Do you understand? So yes, we should be worried, because if they take out, like say they pull out, but interestingly, right now they don't even need to have an office here for them to get music or to do the business with us.
They don't, but some of them do.
Do you understand? So, but when they do that, I mean, some of them do, but they probably don't.
No, but I'm saying Sony has an office.
Yeah,
UMG was having.
Still, everything is still controlled.
No, of course, yes.
Do you understand?
True.
An office is just an office, but the business itself is controlled from outside.
Yes,
so, if they actually hands off and say, okay, there you go. I don't know what else. We have some local distribution companies. But now I don't even know if they're still in existence. Uduex. One time we had MCN Music Plus here that were here. We had Pedu. We had we still have Boomplay here. Boomplay is not still
Boomplay
local. Still, do you understand? So, but we really don't know. I mean, it's a question or something that we don't even want to face yet. I mean, for now, we want to feel like it's only going to get better where it is. But yes, there's concern for the majority of the funding of the money itself not coming here, and then it's now more selfish. I mean, David will get what he needs to get for himself. The other people will get what they need to get for themselves. But the business, the industry, we will not
get that
reap from it. We will not get anything from it. It's crazy, but how much of the choice do we have? You know, how much of a choice do we have? We can only hope that, which is why we have to keep celebrating the fact that it's okay. At least guys are crossable, which is also another reason why these artists and the ones that and the people, the players or the industry will probably eventually benefit from the shows, the concerts that are paid for. You know, the money when they pay whatever still comes back to our local industry here, in terms of when you receive your money, they're receiving the money in their local accounts here. Taxes are going round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that, you know, it's a really small percentage. Let's face it, in the world of business, the world the musician gets is a tiny percentage of the value that is created from that music. Tiny. So I'm saying, as a country now, all of our big boys, the larger part of what they're generating in this world is not nearing anywhere close to Nigeria. It's not. It's over there.
Sadly.
So yeah, it's really sad, you know, and it's one of the things I've been thinking about for a while. Like, for a country as big as ours, we haven't even managed to create any brand, entertainment-wise, especially because entertainment is such a big. I mean, our Nollywood is big, our music is big. You get other spaces might open as well, you know, but we haven't managed to create like a brand other than the quality product itself that travels and brings back this value to us.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I mean, think about it now. We are taking our biggest music show to the abroad too. So alongside the value generated, of course, because awards always generate a certain small economy. If they were doing a hotel, if you go to a hotel when they're doing awards, for instance, you would see that outside of it, people are selling their small shepe. Somebody is selling whatever it is. Some of the hotels, of course, are booked by, you know. There's a mini economy around really big events.
Yes.
So we have taken the music, the awards, everything, and we are handing it over to a lot of the guys abroad. It's quite disturbing. And of course, the idea would have been, okay, what can the government do? But we also know that the government in Nigeria doesn't really think that music or our entertainment space is something to even like, you know, in terms of like bringing in money so that they can put in money so that you can get out a lot of money. I've said it before. I tweeted about this a while ago. I said that, you know what, if only, like you said, they do all of those, the local streaming platforms. If only they could get an agreement, it won't happen. But let's us put out the dream there. If we could get an agreement and say, okay, you know what, the next album's coming from Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy. Those albums, maybe a few of the other guys, Oxlade, Rema, all of them, Rasta, all of them, that the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks in which they release their album, it would only be available on a Nigerian streaming platform. They will change the game. It won't change everything massively, but I can assure you that a lot more of that value that we are talking about, maybe we are saying 0.5%.
But what you said, who called that shot?
That's what I'm saying. So yes, think about it, who will do it. So it's kind of like, if the government wants to be smart about how these things would work, they might need to put down some kind of small money or make certain things, maybe say, okay,
even before the money part, get involved, basically.
Yes. So I'm saying, okay, maybe a little bit of, okay, we won't tax you people wanting tax, you get, let's remove this small tax for it, but just so that our own people will grow. It's kind of like, why do you think they banned Google in China? China knows that there are plenty of people in my country. Google search, if it's in China, would kill everybody. You know, it's killing everybody, but it would even kill more. You know, we are like, you know, the one that we have is what people in my country are going to use. That kind of like an idea. Of course, this is like a specific, it's a kind of political system, or like there's no free market, you know, and everybody's shouting free market nowadays. But I feel like this thing that protect your own, the same way they closed the border so that rice and whatever sugar would not enter, so that their own local people can produce. I feel like if there was a way they could talk back in the day when Ambode, sorry, I'm probably speaking too much politics, but back in the day when Ambode had like there was, I think I went for one of these New Year celebrations, and there were many stars that came to perform at somewhere in Eco Atlantic back in the day during Ambode's time, somewhere around the VI axis. Anyway, and Olamide, there were like 6-7 really popular stars at the time that came to perform that evening. I was saying that these people probably not take any money because they know say Lagos State can afford to fuck them up if push comes to shove. Lagos says, oh yeah, come and perform whatever this night. You perform 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You can leave afterwards. You will come now because you know that if they say you should not do your show where you want to see money, that kind of like an arrangement where, okay, we'll give you this, you come and give us that. You get? So I've always said that if we had known early and we set up a streaming platform where Afrobeat music will be what gets there almost exclusively or partly exclusively, we will not be in the position that we are now. But I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. But yeah, but this topic probably deserves a lot more.
Yeah, keep going on. So, but anyway, let's moving on. Last story, Tory Lanez has been sentenced, finally sentenced
10 years.
10 years for
shooting Megan Thee Stallion's feet.
For being guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. I
think a lot of us, except minus those people who are just crazy online, knew that he actually did shoot her. I think that was publicly known, you know. Yeah. But I think this thing wouldn't have gotten to this stage if between everybody involved in that whole incident, they had found a way to like settle it based on saying, we are all artists, we are all black people, you know, let us find a way to talk about this thing, you know. Unfortunately, I feel like Tory Lanez's ego, just general misbehavior, got in the way of whatever, because I remember the first few times Megan was very reluctant to say exactly what had happened to her. You get? But it now looked like there was a little bit of shaming going on from his own camp. And I don't know how the team metamorphosed, or rather it morphed into this thing. A few months down the line, my guy is going to jail. You know, it feels like stuff that sometimes I think about these artists. I think about this black artist especially. You know, I'm like, many things are avoidable. My goodness, just come out your ego, guy. You know, and let's sense just walk his way. Now look.
So I mean, the guy has spent I think according to reports 10 years and 10 months already or something. So he's going to probably. So I mean, before the final sentencing, I read that he had begged for the judge to temper justice with mercy, saying that he regrets everything that happened. You know, that he basically took responsibility for his action, and that he very much still likes or loves Megan Thee Stallion for what has happened and stuff, that he regrets it. But still, he got 10 years. So we're looking at
Too late,
maybe 4 years inside or 5 years. Maybe, can we say less? But I mean, whatever it is, the system they have, we're on a system where you sort of do the time, you know, not as much as that 10 years, and then later probation and all of those other things. So, but it is what it is.
It's unfortunately what it is. What is unfortunately, honestly.
I mean, that's the show basically. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the show. Tell us what you feel about any of the topics that we've talked about today, and we'll see you on the next one. Bless.